The automotive world has witnessed countless rivalries: Ferrari versus Lamborghini, Ford versus Chevy, Toyota versus Honda. But today, there's a new battle rewriting the rules of global car dominance. And this time, it's not happening in Europe or America, it's happening in China. Chinese cars have just crushed BMW and Mercedes in their own game, the luxury and performance segment they once owned completely. What was once considered unthinkable is now reality. The masters of German engineering are watching as China's automakers rise from underdogs to world leaders, faster, smarter, and far more innovative than anyone expected. For decades, BMW and Mercedes defined the very essence of automotive perfection. They built machines that were precise, refined, and powerful, symbols of status and craftsmanship. If you drove one, it meant you had arrived. But that story is changing rapidly. Enter the new players: BYD, NAO, XPeng, Zeekr, Hongqi, and a dozen others. Brands that just a few years ago were barely known outside of China are now taking center stage in global markets, building vehicles that make BMW's and Mercedes' latest models look outdated. The turning point? Technology. While German brands continued refining gasoline engines and tweaking luxury interiors, Chinese manufacturers went all in on electric innovation. They embraced batteries, AI systems, smart dashboards, and autonomous features long before most European automakers took them seriously. And the results speak for themselves. Take BYD, for example. Once dismissed as a budget EV maker, BYD is now outselling Tesla in electric vehicle units globally, and its cars are gaining a reputation for unmatched efficiency, design, and affordability. The new BYD Seal and Han EVs aren't just competing with the BMW 3 Series or Mercedes C-Class, they're outperforming them in range, features, and price. Fully electric, lightning-fast acceleration, and interiors that look like futuristic lounges. Then there's NIO, the brand redefining what luxury means in the EV era. NIO's ET7 and ET9 aren't just cars. They're intelligent ecosystems on wheels, powered by AI co-pilots, air suspension, and ultra-premium materials. They offer battery swapping technology, something BMW and Mercedes still don't have. Imagine stopping for 3 minutes and your car instantly gets a fully charged battery while you sip coffee. That's the kind of innovation German engineers once led, but now they are playing catch-up. XPeng brings another angle: performance and automation. Its G9 SUV and P7 sedan feature full-scenario autonomous driving, rivaling, and in some cases surpassing, Tesla's autopilot. Chinese cars are no longer about imitation, they're about domination through innovation. And this transformation didn't happen by accident. China saw the future, a world running on electricity, data, and sustainability, and they built an entire ecosystem to lead it. Government incentives, massive investments in battery technology, and homegrown chip development created a perfect storm for innovation. Now, China controls more than 75% of the global EV battery supply chain. In contrast, BMW and Mercedes are still trying to secure lithium contracts and catch up in battery tech. Meanwhile, Chinese design has taken a huge leap forward. Look at brands like Zeekr and Avatar. Their cars don't just perform well, they look like art pieces from the future. Sleek, aerodynamic lines, minimalist interiors, panoramic cockpits, the kind of visual appeal that used to be exclusive to German brands. Today, the tables have turned. European reviewers are praising Chinese cars for quality, design, and craftsmanship. And perhaps the biggest blow to BMW and Mercedes? Price. Chinese automakers are delivering world-class luxury at half the cost. You can buy a top-tier BYD or Zeekr with all the features: massaging seats, ambient lighting, 500+ kilometer range, level 3 autonomy for less than the price of a base BMW 3 Series. When value meets innovation, the market listens. Consumers across Asia, Europe, and even the Middle East are switching, and fast. BMW and Mercedes are feeling the pressure. They've both rushed to release new EV lineups, but critics say they lack originality. The i4, EQE, and EQS are impressive, yet they feel reactive, not revolutionary. While German automakers play defense, Chinese automakers are rewriting the playbook. And this shift goes beyond just sales. China is setting new global standards in EV infrastructure. Cities like Shenzhen and Shanghai have thousands of ultra-fast charging stations, many powered by renewable energy. Compare that to Europe, still struggling to expand its EV network. In 2024, BYD overtook Volkswagen as the best-selling car brand in China, a market Volkswagen dominated for nearly 40 years. That's not just a win, it's a seismic shift in automotive history. And now, Chinese cars are expanding aggressively into Europe, Latin America, and Africa, regions that were once strongholds for BMW and Mercedes. So, what went wrong for the Germans? Arrogance, perhaps. For too long, legacy automakers assumed their brand heritage and engineering prestige would protect them. But while they polished their badges, China built the future: electric, smart, connected, and affordable. Chinese carmakers understood something simple yet powerful. The new generation of drivers doesn't just want horsepower, they want intelligence. They don't just want luxury, they want innovation. And they don't want to pay $80,000 for features they can get for half that price. Today, when you step inside a NIO or Zeekr, you're not entering a car, you're entering a digital experience. Massive touchscreens, voice assistants that learn your habits, panoramic ambient lighting that reacts to your mood, all integrated seamlessly. Compare that to a Mercedes where half the tech is locked behind subscription models and updates arrive years later. Even the global perception of made in China has changed. It no longer means cheap, it means advanced. Chinese cars are built with precision robotics, AI quality control, and cutting-edge materials. They're exported to Norway, Germany, and the UK, countries that once exported their own cars to China. And it's not slowing down. By 2030, experts predict Chinese automakers will dominate global EV sales, with brands like BYD, NIO, and Geely leading the charge. BMW and Mercedes may still have prestige, but prestige alone doesn't win the future. Innovation does. It's almost poetic: the student has become the master. The nation that once learned automotive design from the West is now teaching the world what's next. China isn't chasing the Germans anymore. They've already overtaken them in technology, affordability, and ambition. BMW and Mercedes built the world's most admired cars for a century. But in this new age of smart mobility, China is building the cars that define the next century. The era of dominance has shifted, and the message is clear. Innovation, not tradition, decides who wins the road ahead. Because the future doesn't belong to those who rest on their legacy. It belongs to those who dare to reinvent it. And right now, that future belongs to China. The transformation taking place in China's auto industry isn't just about electric motors or futuristic designs, it's about redefining what mobility means for the next century. And while BMW and Mercedes rely on brand legacy, Chinese automakers are building an entire ecosystem around innovation, connectivity, and sustainability. Let's take a closer look at what's fueling this revolution. China didn't just focus on building cars, it focused on building infrastructure. From smart charging networks that can power up hundreds of EVs simultaneously, to cities that integrate AI traffic systems, China has created an environment where electric vehicles aren't just viable, they're the norm. You can drive across entire provinces and find fast chargers every few kilometers. In contrast, much of Europe and the United States are still struggling to install consistent EV networks. Then there's the battery advantage. China leads the world not only in manufacturing EV batteries but also in the science behind them. Companies like CATL and BYD have developed solid-state and sodium-ion batteries that promise longer range, faster charging, and better safety technology that even Tesla and German automakers are eager to source. BMW and Mercedes depend heavily on suppliers. Chinese carmakers often own or control their own battery production. That gives them control, scale, and cost efficiency that Western companies simply can't match right now. And the innovation doesn't stop there. Chinese brands are pioneering vehicle-to-grid systems, cars that can feed power back into homes or cities during peak demand. They're integrating AI personal assistants that can recognize facial expressions, detect fatigue, and adjust cabin settings automatically. And they're experimenting with solar-assisted EVs designs that extend range using roof-mounted solar panels. While German automakers are talking about the future, China is already driving it. Even in performance, the story is changing. Cars like the BYD Yangwang U9 or the Hi-Fi A are shattering expectations. These aren't economy cars, they are high-performance beasts that rival supercars. 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds, advanced torque vectoring systems, and cutting-edge aerodynamic designs. These machines show that China isn't just catching up, it's rewriting what performance can mean in an electric world. Meanwhile, BMW and Mercedes are caught in a dilemma. Their combustion engines are masterpieces, but those masterpieces now belong to the past. They are pouring billions into electrification, but without the same supply chain control or innovation cycle as China. Every year, the gap widens. And here's the surprising part: many of these Chinese automakers are now employing European designers and engineers. The same talent that once shaped cars like the Mercedes S-Class or BMW 7 Series is now helping shape the next generation of Chinese vehicles. Design studios in Munich, Gothenburg, and Turin are filled with projects for Chinese brands. That's a clear sign of where the industry's creative energy is moving. Take Geely, for instance, the company that owns Volvo, Lotus, Polestar, and even stakes in Mercedes itself. It has built a powerful global network that blends Western craftsmanship with Chinese innovation. The result? Cars like the Zeekr 001 and Polestar 4, vehicles that look European, feel luxurious, and perform like electric rockets. Even luxury is being reimagined. Traditional luxury was about leather, chrome, and wood trims. But Chinese luxury? It's digital, sustainable, and immersive. Ambient lighting that syncs with your heart rate. Seats made from recycled ocean plastics that still feel premium. Voice-activated climate zones for each passenger. This is luxury with conscience, something the new generation values more than status symbols. And that's the key: the mindset of consumers is changing. The younger generation doesn't care about heritage badges, they care about smart features, connectivity, and tech integration. They'd rather have a car that updates over the air every month than one that just has a famous logo. That's where BMW and Mercedes are struggling. Their appeal was built on prestige, not progression. But China understands its audience. Its automakers are shaping cars around digital lifestyles. Every vehicle feels like an extension of your smartphone, seamless, connected, alive. Want your car to park itself in a tight urban alley? It can. Want it to follow you automatically like a pet? NIO's models already do that. Want to update your infotainment or even your performance settings without visiting a dealership? That's standard in most Chinese EVs now. Even the manufacturing process has been revolutionized. China's new gigafactories are fully automated robots building robots, AI monitoring assembly quality in real time, and production speeds that outpace German plants by miles. Efficiency meets precision, and it's driving costs down while quality goes up. That's why when you see reviews from European journalists these days, you'll notice a pattern. They step into a Chinese EV, expecting flaws, and step out in disbelief. The silence of the ride. The smooth power delivery. The ultra-high-resolution screens. The near-perfect fit and finish. They realize this isn't a copy. It's evolution. Even traditional car shows tell the story. Events like the Munich Auto Show, once dominated by German names, are now flooded with Chinese brands showing cars that turn more heads than BMW's latest releases. And European consumers are taking notice. Chinese automakers are offering style, range, and price combinations that Western companies can't beat. BMW's marketing once said, "the ultimate driving machine." But now, many drivers are discovering a new phrase, the ultimate smart machine. And it's not coming from Germany anymore. What's more impressive? These Chinese automakers are not limiting themselves to electric sedans and SUVs. They're entering commercial vehicles, performance coupes, off-roaders, and even flying cars. Brands like XPeng and Geely are already showcasing prototypes of flying EVs that could be on the market within a decade. That's right, while German automakers are refining suspension settings, Chinese companies are preparing to take to the skies. And let's not forget about export power. China has become the world's largest car exporter, surpassing Japan and Germany. That means millions of vehicles from budget EVs to premium models are flooding international markets. They're not just competing, they're conquering. BMW and Mercedes are responding, but their moves feel hesitant. They're launching EVs under pressure rather than passion. Meanwhile, Chinese brands move like tech startups, fast, agile, and fearless. New concepts appear every few months, production-ready models roll out in record time, and updates come through software instead of redesigns. And that's where the game is being won: speed of innovation. German companies operate like traditional manufacturers. China operates like Silicon Valley. The result? Progress measured in months, not years. Every piece of the puzzle is aligning innovation, infrastructure, affordability, and ambition. The message from China's automotive giants is clear. They're not trying to be the next BMW or Mercedes. They're building something entirely new, a world where cars aren't just vehicles but living, learning companions. The hum of an electric motor replacing the growl of a V8. A future defined not by horsepower but by intelligence. And as each Chinese car rolls off the assembly line, one thing becomes clearer. This isn't a temporary trend. It's a global transformation. Fast across Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and even North America. In cities like Oslo, London, and Paris, Chinese EVs are becoming a common sight. BYD's Seal and Atto 3 NIO's ET5 and MG's Marvel are all flying off showroom floors. European consumers who once swore by BMW or Mercedes are switching to Chinese brands because they are realizing something simple: innovation speaks louder than tradition. Even governments are paying attention. European regulators, once skeptical, now face pressure to respond. Import tariffs, safety checks, and new trade policies are being discussed as China's EV dominance becomes undeniable. But none of it seems to slow the momentum. Because China isn't just exporting cars, it's exporting an entire philosophy of mobility. A philosophy that says a car isn't just about transportation, it's about experience. It's about sustainability, connection, and progress. While BMW and Mercedes continue to build beautiful machines, China is building ecosystems, complete worlds of connected devices, digital services, and renewable energy integration. They're not just selling cars, they're selling a smarter way of life. And the technology gap keeps growing. The latest Chinese EVs feature LiDAR-based autonomy, 5G connectivity, voice learning AI, and augmented reality navigation projected right onto the windshield. These aren't prototypes, they're production cars you can buy today. Meanwhile, German automakers are still beta testing features that Chinese consumers already take for granted. Even the interiors tell a story. Step inside a NIO ET9 or Zeekr 007, and you'll feel like you're in a luxury spaceship. Minimalist design, floating dashboards, 3D sound systems, and panoramic glass roofs that tint automatically with sunlight. It's luxury reimagined for a digital era where elegance meets intelligence. BMW and Mercedes, to their credit, are adapting. They're investing in electrification, AI, and digital cockpits. But they are burdened by legacy, by factories, dealer networks, and old-school production philosophies. China's automakers, on the other hand, were born in the digital age. They started fresh, no baggage, no hesitation. Just pure focus on the future. And that's why this shift feels unstoppable. In just a decade, China went from following trends to setting them. From copying designs to defining them. From being underestimated to being unrivaled. The numbers tell the truth. China now exports more cars than any other country on Earth. Its EV technology leads in cost efficiency, battery innovation, and AI integration. Even German auto engineers are admitting the competition has fundamentally changed. It's not about who makes the fastest car anymore. It's about who makes the smartest one. And in that race, China is already a lap ahead. But this isn't the end of BMW or Mercedes. It's their wake-up call. A reminder that prestige must evolve or perish. That innovation doesn't wait for tradition. And that the crown of automotive excellence belongs to those who dare to reinvent it. The irony is poetic. For decades, Chinese manufacturers learned from the Germans, studying their factories, design philosophies, and craftsmanship. Now, the tables have turned. The students have surpassed the masters. And they are teaching the world how to build cars for the new age. So as we look toward the road ahead, one truth stands out. The future of the automobile will be written not in Stuttgart or Munich, but in Shenzhen, Shanghai, and Hangzhou. Because this is no longer just about cars. It's about power, technological, economic, and cultural power. It's about who leads the next century of mobility. China's automakers aren't just competing, they're redefining the rules of the game. BMW and Mercedes may still hold the legacy of the past, but China holds the keys to the future. And as the world shifts gears into that electric, intelligent, and connected tomorrow, one message echoes through the industry. The game has changed, and China just won it.